What's up, guys? Let me know if the audio is good, but we're shipping items out today. I have a ton to ship out, so I was like, what better way to ship these out than to go live on YouTube so you guys can kind of ship with me, hang out a little bit. I've got a ton of sales. It is 87 items for $2,024. Couple combined orders. I got the mic to the right. I had to build like a mic stand because still getting used to the new layout. If you guys have been following the channel, I moved to this new office setup. There's 3 offices here. And yeah, we're in the shipping office right now. Randy's not working. She's working Tuesday and Thursday this week. She works 5 hours each day. She's got some items to catch up on, and I'm going to go source tomorrow while she's here. So that's kind of how we do it. And then we'll spend Friday together hanging out and working. But yeah, just trying to make sure everything is good. Let me know if you can hear me. Someone please say like, yes, I can hear you. And yes, you did not make the 11 o'clock start time because, well, I had to go to the bathroom. And I have a lot to pack, so I want to make sure I got that out of the way. One thing I like to do, though, when we pack items is I like to get the combined orders first. Someone let me know if you can hear me. The mic's over here, but I could put it over here, but it'd be lower. So I think this is going to be fine. But just be like, yes, I can hear you. Take the second to hit the like button, to go off to the side and type like, yes, we can hear you. Please continue with what you're going to do. Let me know, too, if you guys like the sourcing video. I went sourcing. I did some drone footage for the intro. I was extremely proud of the introduction. I had 2 people mention they thought it was pretty solid. My wife liked it. My dad liked it. So Seth, if he understood what he was looking at, I'm sure he would like it too. But yeah, it was a fun day. It was a decently successful day. Sourcing has been it's been challenging. I know it's challenging for a lot of people, but I am no different when it comes to that. Because, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people out here reselling. There's a lot of people buying all the good stuff, hitting the racks before you get there, leaving hangers on the racks, and then you go to them and you just know when you hit that rack, like, all the good stuff is probably gone. But there's definitely items that people avoid picking up because they either, 1, don't know the value of it, or 2, they don't want to do the listing, photos, shipping for, $7. And that's kind of what we do here. I did have some big sales, though. But we're going to go over this combined order. So somebody bought a bunch of short sleeve polos, and honestly, this person was offering $4 for a polo, and these polos are like over a year old, so they definitely need to get out. And it ends up being like $7 an item, and then one of those items are going to be like 13. But then they sent a round of like $1 offers, and I was going to block the buyer because I get it. You want the stuff really cheap. You're either going to sell it in a booth, or maybe they're just trying to fill out their wardrobe. But I'm not taking like negative money on things. So I may end up blocking this buyer, even though they bought 6 items here and they spent $41 on 6 items. So it is what it is. It's not a lot of money, but a lot of these I didn't spend much on either because I knew they weren't going to be like that good of a selling item. But yeah, there's 11 people watching. Let me know if you can hear me. Someone has to say, yes, I can hear you so that I can continue, because I don't want to be going and then nobody being able to hear me. And then it's like, I just did a terrible job as a live streamer. But live streaming, it's got a lot of things involved too. So anyway, these are the 6 items. Thumbs up by Resolution. Okay, thank you. So we're going to pack this up with the larger poly bags. And if you guys know, Jiaropack is my sponsor. So you can use Taylor10 to get 10% off your order of Jiaropack. These are the 14.5 by 19s. It's really the biggest that I go. I thought about getting the larger poly bags, but the price really does jump up when you go to like I think it's 22 by 20 possibly, those poly bags. So I'm cool with the 19 by 14.5, just because anything more than that, like this is 6 items, anything more than that ends up being like, you probably need a box. You don't want to these poly bags are strong, but you don't want to pack like too much in them. Like anything over like 10 items, I think, really starts pushing the limits of the poly mailers. So I use a box for that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're going to pack this here. Also, I have this great rolling cart. It's those I think it's called polypropylene. I could be completely making that up, but it's those big heavy duty carts. And I bought a smaller one, but I just upgraded to the bigger one. I'm going to take the smaller one to my house to use for just, projects around there. But this big one is perfect actually, because it really saved me with building my microphone stand right here. So They're expensive. It was like 146, I think, for the bigger one, or no, maybe 160, and then the smaller one was like I don't know, 130 maybe, possibly somewhere around there. But yeah, you can get them from like Harbor Freight, but I ordered them on Amazon. I do a lot of shopping on Amazon. Yes, Tammy says she can hear me. Thank you, Tammy. And Akai Beats says, "Hey Taylor, I'm in Germany. Also watch your video streams while I'm sourcing mainly online." Oh, okay, an online sourcer. That's a pretty cool skill to have, online sourcing. And I moved my trash can, so I'm gonna have to move that back. So here, I copied daily refinements. This is like a wire thing for collecting like leaves in the yard, but you can just put these little bags over it, and it can actually hold quite a bit. So I'm gonna put it right underneath this shelf. And that was like the last thing I needed to set up before we get started, because the little plastic piece that comes off the poly bags, those have to go in the trash because they're kind of a pain to deal with. This one is right at 3 pounds. I'm gonna see how big the measurements are. Like, I typically measure the items too. This is probably like, I don't know, 14 by 14 or something. And I don't have a tape measure, and I don't know. Oh, here's the ruler, the yardstick. Bam. So we'll measure this out just to be good with the post office. It's 13 by 13 by, let's go like 6 inches. 13 by 13 by 6. And let's see how much it cost, because shipping prices are getting crazy. This is going to be $10 Ground Advantage. So they paid $23.94 in shipping, and it was $10 for the label. So that's how I make money, and I'm able to give out like lower offers because the shipping adds up, and then, you know, that's just kind of how that works. Not Your Friend, I hope you are my friend. Not Your Friend says, "How many listings does your store have?" So I used to have 5,200, but I have been selling like crazy. I have not been listing as much either. So the store has gone down in size, which honestly I'm okay with. And I'll pull up a window here to find out. I got 2 laptops here. I got the one that we're streaming off of, the MacBook, and then I've got this one here in front of me, which is a ThinkPad, which ThinkPads are not good for YouTube, but they're good working computers. I'm at like 3,894 listings. So we are going down in size. And then if you guys want the other numbers, a lot of people might ask, since you asked that one, we are at $62,358 for the 90-day total. The last, pretty much since I came back from my Florida vacation, we've been doing really well. I'm listing about 20 items a day. And some days I list 0. I mean, I absolutely miss days, but that's because I have other projects I'm working on. And eBay has kind of taken the back burner on some of this stuff, which is fine. I mean, as long as you have enough money coming in and time, you can really start doing other things to build up other businesses. Because I don't see myself shopping at thrift stores in the next 5 years. I don't know if I'll still be doing that. We'll just have to see. Okay, so the other thing that I didn't set up is I've got the big post office bags. I'm going to pull one over here so you guys can see. These are right here. So you can get these from the post office. You kind of got to be cool with them. I mean, I think they'll give them out anyway, but you know how post office workers are. So typically they give me a bunch of them, and then I like just use them for shipping. So it's to take items to the post office. And then sometimes when I go sourcing, if it's like a half off day and I know I'm not going to be able to get a buggy, because even that few minutes from getting a buggy and waiting with all the chaos, you can go through the line and go through the aisles and start grabbing stuff and just put them in the bag without having to like really wait for a buggy. Oh. Here. All right. We are set up. We are like all operational for the shipping. So the next thing I like to do though is I like to get all the combined orders. So I got the first one. The second one, I had to go into the eBay bulk shipping and then combine them and then remove the ones that weren't the combined ones. So this is a a twofer right here. This is going to be a Plains Western wear and a Wrangler short sleeve pearl snap. They're both size medium, and we're going to pack this one up. So it's probably going to be under a pound. So we're going to use the royal blue. I love the royal blue color. It's one of my favorite ones. It's going to be 13 ounces, Ground Advantage. Let's go 13 ounces. This is going to Fayetteville, Arkansas, too. Just under $6 on the label, so not too bad. Let's see. We've got another comment here. DJ R says, I'm a part-timer with 6,400 listings, over half are sports cards. Right on, man. Yeah, if you can figure it out, I don't know how many sports cards you need to be full-time, but it really comes down to how much money you make. But I think sports cards is a good one. I know Carrie American Arbitrage, I follow him through the Trash to Cash podcast. I don't really watch his card stuff, but I watch like some of their content, and he's doing really well with the sports cards. I mean, those guys give him crap all the time because it's a lot of low dollar sales. But as someone who has built a full-time business with low dollar sales, like, I get it. It works. You have to have enough of them selling. Akai Beat says, I sell mainly used gaming consoles, games and stuff. I also started to reinvest in AliExpress stuff. Okay. Like the HDMI adapters for retro consoles. That's actually a pretty niche thing. Very cool. It's doing really well. Yeah. Be careful what you say online, because there's somebody that watches this video that may get right into that and start doing it. So, but yeah, if you understand it more than the rest of them, then yeah, you can definitely make a successful business, I think, with that. That's a good idea, man. Trying to go back to the bulk shipping menu. I got my eBay coffee cup, eBay Open 2022. I went in Austin to go check it out. It was okay. Now that I do more YouTube, I think I can make like a really good piece of content with that. But there's sellers from all different levels. There's like your part-timers, your full-timers, kind of like me, and then your like enterprise sellers who have very specific questions for just a specific person that they want to talk to in person. And I said person a few times there, but yeah, we got the coffee going, and we're going to get this last combined order, and then we're going to start flowing through the rest of the items. But yeah, is everyone doing good though? Has the weekend been good to everybody? I had a pretty good weekend. The weather was bad on Saturday though. It was really cold and rainy, and I know flea markets were tough because my friend and employee Randy, she was going to do a flea market sale with her boyfriend, and then all of a sudden it rained, so they like couldn't do it, and they have a lot of stuff they need to sell, so that was kind of a bummer. But Sunday was decent weather. Here we go. All right, so they had 2 Ralph Lauren chino shorts. They had, let's see, a beige one and then like a green plaid one. It's these 2 right here. So let's see. This one might be over a pound though. Okay, it is over a pound. 1 pound, 10 ounces. And we're going to see how much this costs to ship out. $7.84 on Ground Advantage. All right, really good there. But yeah, so we got the NFL draft coming up this week. My dad and I are going to hang out. Our grandpa, it's like my grandpa, my dad's dad. We're going to watch the draft, eat some pizza and some wings. Definitely drink a little bit. Football season is like my drinking season. I don't drink much else other than during football games and activities. So that's always really good, really a good time for me. So I'm excited about it. All right, now we're done with that's all the combined orders. So out of the 86, that was all the combined ones, and we have 4 of the inventory boxes like this. We've got 4 of these to do, so it's going to be a minute. So I hope you guys strap in. This is going to be a bit of a live. I'm going to try to go less than 2 hours. That's the goal. Because if I was doing this solo, like without the live, 90 items, let's just round it up. A minute a piece would be an hour and a half, and I know I could do it a lot faster because sometimes I can do 2 to 3 a minute. So that's moving pretty fast. But I'm gonna be engaging with the camera and the chat and everything you guys hear, just so that it's not such a boring live of me just shipping the items. Because nobody really wants to see just that. But it is a bit of a let's call it like a click fest. It's a click fest with how many times you got to touch the mouse to click all the weights and all that stuff. And yeah, it's gonna be a bit of an effort here. And let's see. Need to find. It's weird. Okay, so you guys know my SKU system, right? I have a video on it. It's like how to store 5,000 items. This is 6238. So this is an extremely old SKU. That's why I was willing to let it go for $2.69 plus $8.99 shipping. So somebody paid about $11.84 for this short sleeve Ralph Lauren shirt. However, when you sort by custom SKU, the very first SKU starts with the 1 digit. So that's like 10,000. Is that right? Yeah. So that'd be like 10,000 on up. And then at the very bottom of the sorting menu, it goes to the ones less than 10,000 because look, it starts with a 6. So just the way they do it, 1 being the first digit, it's the first one shown up there. And that's a bit of an issue. So we are having to like scroll down and then find our marker for like where to start shipping. And that's pretty much what I just did there. Totally unnecessary information, but if you know, right? Like what I'm talking about. So, okay. Let's see. We've got here. So yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the price in, print the label, pack it up, look back at the screen, and kind of just rock with it like that. And we've got some football questions. Dynamic Dawson says Chicago Bears over under 10 wins. I haven't looked at the schedule, strength of schedule, but I'm just hoping we make the playoffs. Whether that's 9-win playoff or not. I mean, with the 7 teams, from each side, it's possible that 9 could get you in. I really just hope we beat the Packers both games. That's one of the more important things for the season. I try to keep the bar like a little low because Caleb Williams, he undoubtedly will be our quarterback. And it's going to be his rookie year. And just because he's supposed to be a phenom and all that stuff, I don't want to be like, yeah, dude, you have to win 10 games, because that's not really fair to any young player coming into the league, whether you're, the best guy coming out since Andrew Luck. But, we do have a good team. Like, we definitely have a squad this year. So I'm excited about it. So, yeah, this next one, just another Under Armour short sleeve shirt. And this was the time where I was buying a lot of crew necks for less than $2. And I'm not doing that anymore. Like this Ariat shirt, this side. This Ariat shirt I got for 50 cents at a yard sale. I could have easily sold it, but decided to keep it. But yeah, I'm not really thrifting the t-shirt rack. And there's a couple of reasons why I don't thrift the t-shirts. I know there's a lot of good items in the t-shirt category. And good being kind of subjective to like how much you want to make, but I don't like going through all of them. There's too many of them. Like they're really big sections. It could take you like 20 minutes to kind of go through it. And then your arms are all tired and you didn't find but like 3 items that sell well, So I'm not really for the t-shirt section. Now, if a new rack comes out, I'll look at every shirt on the new rack without a doubt. Cause that's where you're going to find like your vintage items at the thrift store racks, at least on the new ones that come out, not the ones that have been sitting there forever. Yeah, this one here is a Volcom. This was actually pretty wild. It's a Volcom Polo. So that sold for $13.50. That's pretty good for just a Volcom Polo. I don't really pick Volcom up in the polo category. In my recent sourcing video, I did pick up like a Volcom board short, and it was okay. It was an okay one. DJR says under the 10 wins. Maybe. You think you're going to vlog with your wife one day like Harry Tornado? Trust me, the 100K subs will come instantly, just saying. I don't know if you have done YouTube lately, but 100K subs does not come instant, at least from what I've found. As far as having my wife on the channel, she's not, she doesn't like being on camera or talking on camera. like I do. We're kind of different in that regard. We also have my son. So Seth is an interesting one because he's getting bigger and stronger. So soon, like last weekend was Saturday, 2 days ago. It was raining, but we had planned to do garage sales, flea market, and kind of do some content with my family. So that was something that we wanted to do. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not like pushing it on her to do content with me. And as far as like helping the channel, I'm not I'm not striving to be like 100K sub channel or even I mean even like the money off of like views and AdSense isn't very high. The sponsor money's pretty good through YouTube, but as far as like developing YouTube as like like a big income driver, I've never really had that ambition. Now I am trying to increase the quality of the content because I just think it's good to get better at like what you're doing, like instead of just staying in the same lane with like quality. So I have another business that I'm developing that's making more money than YouTube. So like eBay's making the most, then my other business, then YouTube, and then I have a fourth business which is making content for businesses. And that one, it can make a lot of money, but it takes more of my takes more um actual time, right? Like YouTube makes money when you're asleep, eBay makes money when you're asleep. My other business, it's the same way. As far as like trading services for another or like trading service for business, it's almost like having a regular job. Like you work an hour, you get paid for the hour. So those businesses can be really good if you're really skilled in an area, but other businesses can make less money all the time. And those are some of the best ones that you can scale. And that's really where um, what I found like running businesses for myself. That's really what you want to be at. So um, yeah, but yeah, I don't know. The whole Harry and Haley tornado has been it's been it's crazy. I wouldn't really call it an anomaly, but they're definitely like the high end of like YouTubers. And even compared to most like big YouTubers, they're actually on the lower end, but it's still super impressive in this category to be that successful. And a lot of it is just Josh's work ethic in the beginnings, putting that many hours. Like if you ask that guy how many hours you put into YouTube since you started, it'd probably be more than the amount of like normal 40-hour work week. So you work what, 2000 hours a year or whatever it is, 2080. That's a 40-hour work week. I'm sure he's done more than that. And a lot of people don't do that. So that's part of the reason of like his really good success too. Resolution says, I have an eBay everything store and I have hated clothing, but recently started sourcing it because of availability. Your content, along with my girl that's a costume designer, has me profitable. Thanks. Excellent, dude. Good to hear it, man. Good to hear that you have come to the dark side of clothes. And I was an everything seller too. Brian Roning, if you guys have seen his YouTube channel, he's getting up there on like content, and he was on Bo Johnson's live and they were talking. I was watching most of it, but he was the one that actually we were talking about eBay back in 2019. He was one where he said, look, I'm going to start doing button-up shirts. He's like, no one's really going to them and there's a lot of money in them. And I was like, whatever, man. And then like shortly after I started doing clothes, and then Brian made a good point. Like then Tech and Sports and Daily Refinements put their little podcast out, where you got the 30 minutes of free version, then you had to pay to get the full one. They started doing it, and then it got really crazy. Then COVID happened. Then a bunch of people were at home. That's when the big, let's just call it the clothing boom of 2020 happened. And now that it's 2024, you're starting to see a lot of people sell over $100,000 a year in clothing. And it's due to that group putting it out there on Front Street. But Brian had actually got there before. I mean, obviously Tech and Chris been selling clothes before the podcast, but before it was like, publicly out there, like showing how efficient you can be at it. Brian had got into it, and that's when I got into it. And we kind of had a jump start on like the new wave of people that are now selling clothes at a high level. And it's kind of sad, honestly. It's kind of like, it's tough to like say there's somebody that's making like, let's just say they're having $5,000 months on eBay. They're doing it part-time. They're working 40 hours a week at their regular job, and they're making $5,000 a month selling clothes, but they're only picking up the best clothes that come off the new racks after they get off work. those items are like the good ones, right? And then if you're doing this full time and you're not getting those good ones anymore, it stinks because as nice as it is to sell a bunch of like $7 to $10 profit items, it's good to have like $50 profit items. But if everybody that is doing it on a small level is doing like getting those items, it makes it tough for everybody else. So it's best to kind of diversify too. I've actually kind of considered selling other items, not just clothing. Tammy says, I just started reselling business 5 months ago. I can't believe the lowball offers I received. Do you allow lowball offers on your list? Allow offers. Yeah, I allow offers on all listings for sure. And if the same person repeatedly like sends low offers, I'll block them. I'll just say, get out of here, man. I don't need your petty money. But yeah, I allow offers because there's people that'll offer like 70 cents less than the full price offer. And then it's like, okay, yeah, if you just want that round number instead of whatever, like if you didn't have offers, you might not get that sale. And that's the reason for that. Yeah, we're going to have to kick it into high gear. I'm looking to buy a truck too. So if you guys watch the channel, I had a 2019 F-150 and it had transmission issues like right after 60,000 miles. So I ended up moving off of the truck. But now I have a lot of like home projects and we're going to have a rental house and stuff. So I need like a bed, a truck bed, and I have my dad's that I can borrow, but his truck's like $75,000. So for him to let me use it, it's not very, he don't want to do that. So it's almost like I need him to help me just because I need his truck. But I'm looking at like some of the older Tacomas or possibly a Tundra, the second gen ones. So yeah, it's we're in the market for a truck. So I'm just looking for something that I can throw things in the bed of the truck, And it's tough, man. Trucks are expensive, but I was thinking of trading my Civic for like a nice new truck, like a $50,000 truck. But I'm thinking I'm going to keep my Civic, and if I can find a truck for less than $10,000 that can last a few years, ideally like 5 years, that would be the best situation. So that's kind of the way I'm going now, because I do like my Honda Civic hatchback. It's really good for fuel. It's really good for the hatch, like the clothes especially. And I do like the car a lot, so I'm gonna keep that car. DJR says, I sell 6,000 a month as a part-timer. I sell a lot of clothes. Exactly, yeah. That's good, man. That's a good number to be at, especially if you're only putting in like, I don't know, 10 hours a week. Like, that's pretty good. Pretty good. It's another Vans item. I'll talk about some of the better items that come up, but these are all the older items because of the thing we talked about with the sorting of the SKUs. So I'm kind of like just knocking all these out. These are all really low profit items, but it's important to note that I'm not losing money on any items. Like, you're losing money when you're selling on eBay, you're doing something wrong. Either in the buying process is wrong, or you're getting messed up with the shipping. And a lot of that shipping problem happens when the items get really big, heavy and large. So with clothes, the shipping is really not too big a deal, but buying is always a problem. A lot of people overvalue their items. A lot of people price their items really high too. That's a problem. All right. Got some Quicksilver shorts. Man, I used to buy so many of these. I really got away from it. I was getting them for like $2 though. And I remember just going crazy every time I found like Quicksilver, like those skateboard, like, I don't know, Billabong, all those Hurley, all those types of shorts. And some of them can be really good, but you got to know which ones are good. And I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I kind of got to refresh myself by looking up the solds and kind of seeing where the market is for these. But yeah, they're pretty good. Okay, now we're back to the top. So 73 items to go. So we're making it. We're making it happen, y'all. But yeah, 24 people watching, and I wonder how many people have liked the stream. That's always interesting to see. We have no way to see based on how I have the stream set up. That's okay, though. I'm not too concerned. Not too concerned. concern. Have you guys heard of CERN? I was watching a YouTube video on CERN. They're talking about building a larger Hadron Collider. They said it'd be $15 billion, though. So, a lot of money to smash some particles together, but hey, I mean, why not, right? How do you guys feel about money, too? That's always a good question. Like, I think about it a lot. I guess now because I have like a little more, I can kind of think about it for a little bit longer. And it's kind of like, well, what's the point of money? Like, what's the point of having a bunch of it? Or when is it good to spend money? What things do you value spending money on? Is it like trips, experiences, vehicles, houses? I don't know. I always think like, as long as I have enough money for my bills, the rest of it's kind of whatever. And then, yeah, ideally, people say like invest for retirement. So at 65, you can cut off all work and just hang out with your retirement. Like, to me, I think that's a little, it's a little wild of a concept, mainly because I enjoy business. I enjoy working. I don't know if it's like my wife's grandmother, her late grandmother's brother. He's like in his 70s and he still runs an electrical company. So he doesn't really do much of anything, but he runs this company that people work for him. And he goes to work every day, does his coffee, sits in his office. Like, he's still collecting and cutting checks. Well, not collecting checks, but he's cutting checks and still making money. So like, why would you have to retire just because you hit a certain number and society says you're supposed to retire and live off of that money? Like, I mean, if I can work like 4 hours a day at a very easy pace, I'd be cool with that until I die, I guess is what I'm saying. As long as I have time to like spend time when I want to. That's the other thing. Having the option to spend time doing what you love with those that you love, that's what I think is most important. So when it comes to like having money and stuff, I don't know. It's more of having time. That's the more important thing, in my opinion. But yeah, sales were good. I don't know, man. It's like I used to get real excited when I hit like $100 sales day or $200 or $300. Then you hit your first 500 and then 1,000. And then it's like, after that, you don't reach the same highs anymore. You're kind of just there. That's just what you do. Like, what I do is thrift clothing. I ship them, whatever. Randy does the photos. I list them. But I don't get those highs as much as I used to with it. I think that's part of the reason I started other businesses. And also, it's like I don't get as many great wins with reselling as I used to. So, and what I mean by great wins is like I used to hit, and I suppose you still can do this, but like finding like a bunch of vintage video games and systems. I know somebody was talking about they're still in that category a little bit of consoles and things like that. For some reason, like I get such a joy. It's almost like being a child again and seeing like Christmas presents and stuff. Like when I see a bunch of video games and they're like pretty much giving them away, that's like one of the best feelings. And those are fewer and far between happening. So yeah, it's not as glorious as it used to be. And that's fine. I mean, more people are making good money. So that's a good thing, But I do miss that sometimes. Going to a yard sale and it's like everybody and their brother knows how to like sell items at a higher clip than they used to. At the very least, they'll just like put it on Marketplace and get a bunch of offers and then change the price. Like that happens occasionally. Have you ever done that? You see something really low value and you like ask them about it and then they're like, oh, a lot of people have been asking. I think I'm going to hold off on buying or selling this. And you're just like, dude, come on, man. Like, give me that. I even had one. I tell people this a couple times. I bought a GameCube. It was the all black GameCube. And I actually bought it on Facebook Marketplace. It's one of the only things I've ever bought on Facebook Marketplace and had shipped to my house. And it was from Ohio, I remember. And it was this woman and it was her son's. And I got that. I I got a couple games with it. I think I got Star Fox, one of the Star Fox games. And I paid like market price for it probably at the time, maybe slightly under, but pretty close to market price. Ooh, I grabbed this item. So this is 13824, and I was supposed to get 13834. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. That was kind of a mistake. But while I was picking items, I was watching videos on like trucks, like which Tundras and Tacomas are like the best. So I definitely messed that one up. But anyway, so I bought the GameCube. It was a black GameCube. And like 2 years later, she messaged me on the same thread. And she goes, hey, I sold you a GameCube a while back, and it was my son's, and he really wants it back. And I was like, what? Is there a 2-year return policy? Like, am I supposed to give him the money back? But of course I didn't. But I was just kind of like, it kind of made me think like, man, this person, they still have my little thing on Facebook, you know, like they'll still find me. But there was no way I was going to give it back. But I just remember thinking like her son was probably furious that she sold that GameCube. And maybe he wanted to play it. Maybe he found out how much they're worth nowadays. But yeah, it was pretty wild. I was just like, I got a good laugh out of it. Yeah, I mean, buyer or seller's remorse. Do you guys ever have seller's remorse? I don't really have seller's remorse, I don't think. I can't think of one instance. I'm not sure. I'll tell you one time, I was buying some vintage video games, and I think she wanted like, it was crazy. I almost don't even like admitting this one, but I'm not sure if I have it on YouTube either. I'm not sure. Maybe I was doing YouTube then. I don't remember. At least I may not have posted it. Anyway, it was an N64 inbox. It had 11 inbox N64 games, and then it had some loose games. And then she had an inbox Super Nintendo, and then it was like the box was damaged pretty bad though. And then it also had an N64 case that can hold the cartridges. And then it had, I think, like some random, like not really valuable Super Nintendo games, like the football ones and stuff that I don't think they're as valuable. And she wanted, I think, $400 for all of it, and I paid her $240 for just the N64 stuff and not the Super Nintendo. So I don't know if that was like the right deal, but I remember thinking like, dude, I should have just bought them all and then just dealt with whatever came after that. Like at this point now, with kind of the amount of money, you know, like then when I made that deal for $240, like spending $400, I didn't really have all that kind of money. Like I was still a little bit like, that's a lot. Like I got to pay bills and stuff. But now I could have been like, oh yeah, for sure. I know I'll at least break even on the Super Nintendo stuff. But I got all the N64 stuff. I had like, God, I don't even remember, man. GoldenEye, that Hydro game. You remember the Hydro game when you were at the game places and you could ride the jet ski? It was, I think it's Hydro 820 or something like that, or 870. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, it was a pretty popular game, and it sold for like a lot of money. Says I don't know that I always say Akai, but I'm gonna say Beats from now on. Beats says, yeah, consoles and games are great, but electronics can be tough to sell as well if they're broken. But it actually doesn't happen that often. I've been doing it for 3 years. That's a good point. I definitely have come across some broken consoles, or not broken, but like non-operable, like N64s. I bought the kit that has they have special screwdrivers you got to buy for the N64s, and I cleaned it up from a YouTube video, worked perfect. So that was one of the high moments of my life of being able to like buy the correct tool and fix an N64, because I didn't grow up with the N64. We had the PlayStation 1 was the first console I had. And that was in 99, I believe. And I think it was $200 my dad bought. And I remember we had Asteroids, we had Hercules, and that might have been the only 2 games we had. Oh, we had Crash Bandicoot. I don't know if that came out right away or not. I don't know if that was released with it, but yeah, Tekken. I mean, that game was awesome. I guess I just have a lot of memories tied to those old consoles. But I never had the Super Nintendo. I always had to go to the YMCA, or not the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, to play like those types of things. Is the 2,000 profit? No, that's going to be sales. So not profit. A little bit of a YouTube clickbait. I mean, we're all guilty of it. But yeah, it's 2,000 in sales. So not profit. Resolution says, yes, I sold my Oakley Minute machine a while back for $1,000, even though it was good money. Should have just fixed it. What's an Oakley Minute machine? I've never heard of that. Oakley Minute machine. I'm going to look it up. Oakley Minute machine. Oh, it's a watch. I don't know, man. I think that watch is ugly as sin. It's just the chain on it, the square. I don't know. I think you're fine. But if you did like get it for a gift or something, I don't know. I don't like that one though. Miss Lachey, it's been a while. How long did it take for your sales to bounce back after vacation? It's a good question. So I recently went on vacation to Florida, and I'm going to look at the chart right here. Let's see. So I went on a Thursday, and mind you, Thursday morning, I listed 0 items, and I didn't list a single item until Tuesday, the following Tuesday. So that Thursday was $388, $329, $139, $222, and then I had a $450 day, and then a $342 day, and then like that Wednesday, the next 3 days were like over $400, and then it got back up to over 500. So I pretty much average over 500. We had the 591, we had a 719, a $1,037 day, 500, 600, 900. So yeah, it's been really good. So I guess it took like 2-ish, 3-ish days, I think, is just about what it did. So it's a beautiful timepiece. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't think so. Love the video. Started getting to reselling because of your videos. Keep up the good work. Oh, Noah, thanks for that, man. I'm gonna leave that comment up for a little while. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, I notice new subscribers all the time, right? And I always have to remember that sometimes when you put videos out, it's the very first time somebody sees you. That's why you always see people reintroducing themselves, saying what they do. And I know it gets a little taxing when you hear the same person say, like, I mean, I was saying it for a long time. I'm trying not to as much, but like, I'm a full-time eBay reseller, blah, blah, blah. But that's because somebody might be watching you for the very first time, and they don't know who you are. They just see you with clothes and at a thrift store, or making sales or whatever. Man, that's good stuff, dude. I appreciate that. In other news, well, let me think. I was gonna think, what other news are we going on with? Somebody had mentioned, when's your live streams? That's what somebody mentioned yesterday. And when I had my home set up, I had my shipping out of my garage. It was my inventory warehouse, and then I had my home office. And it was very easy to gather the items up and then run a live, especially on a Sunday. Well, now the inventory is like 15 minutes away or 12 minutes away. And then also I'd be missing time with my son and my wife. So that makes it a little harder to just leave them for 3 hours to run the live. So Mondays, when I have tons of sales, it makes more sense to run the lives. And because, I mean, shipping this many items by yourself, it is boring. Trust me. It's not very fun. This is a Sue Nice jacket. This one sold for 18 plus shipping. So I don't know what this Sue Nice is. Sue Nice. It's Sun SU Nice is what it is. But yeah, it sold for pretty good money. It's kind of heavy though. Let's see. It's going to ship for, oh, they must have been close. Huh, they're in Nebraska. But yeah, it only shipped for $6.26. So I'm going to put it in the bigger poly bag. And for those 36 people who are now in the live, buy Jiaropack poly bags, because you get colored poly mailers. Taylor 10 gets your discount. But yeah, these are the big poly bags For big items, I don't like to squeeze them into the small ones. I just throw them in this big one. So, but these are just the white ones. The big ones I reordered, though. I got black ones, so I'm really excited to get to those black poly bags. All right, one box down. All right, one box down. Miss Lachey says Sean loves his compliments. That's very true. I'm a very egotistical YouTuber, as most of us are. And if they don't admit it, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. All right. One thing that has been new is Joe Rogan's been back on YouTube putting out the full podcast, and that has been pretty nice. It's just good to have like long form content, you know, like this live's going to be a long live, but it's just nice to sometimes play something and not have any breaks. I know this will have ads, which I apologize, but we do have to feed ourselves here. But if you can catch the live and be on the live, and you know, that's always good too. You can ask your questions. I mean, I may not have all the answers. I may know somebody who does have some answers. And, you know, I can definitely help some people out, though, with questions that they have. Like this Wrangler Pearl Snap. So Wrangler is pretty cheap. This sold for $15. So if you can find these for $1, I think they're an all-day pickup at $1. I really do. Especially if they're in, like, not damaged, if they're in good condition. I think it's a good pickup. I really do. People like wearing it for work. And a lot of people that order on eBay are in rural communities. So like they're going to be like your farmers, your people just working outdoors. So that's why a lot of those brands do well, because those people aren't going to the stores. They may not even have a Walmart. So they just shop on eBay. It's kind of interesting if you ask. This is an Eddie Bauer jacket, actually. Sold for $20. If you ask people, who do you buy on eBay? Like sometimes you won't find anybody that says they buy on eBay. And you're like, well, where are all my items going? And then you realize it's a lot of people you probably don't talk to. You know? Or maybe it's like an older generation. But a lot of people are just going to Amazon for everything because it's so fast with the shipping, you know. That is a thing. Excuse me. Thank you for sharing your ins and outs of reselling. Raw info is what we need. About as raw as you get here, Taylor Exchange. Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of, you know, raw info, whatever you want to say. I think kind of being like, I don't know if honest, and it's not really like honesty is the right word, but it's like, you just don't want to like, not say the reality of it, you know? So it's like, I don't want to glamorize it. It's, you know, some people like to glamorize reselling, you know, like it's the best. And it is good. It's no doubt really good. I do think having a skill in like video editing, I think that's very valuable too. Now it's harder to get consistent, or like it's harder to get into like selling a service for video editing for others. But if you can learn how to do it, there's a lot of people that don't know how to do it. And all they want is to figure out how to get it done and not have to worry about it. So like all these local businesses, pretty much anybody that's not really franchised, they're looking or have somebody trying to figure out how to do some of that stuff. So if you're ever interested in that, I mean, that's something I like to learn about and talk about. And it's crazy because then you find some people that are really good at like being an influencer or doing social media or affiliate marketing. And then you like want to find out how they do it. And they're like, well, buy my course, or like very few people are giving that information out for free. And it might be because they're kind of at the cutting edge of like how that's working and they don't want to give it out. It's possible. Brother, if you start your SKU with 0, you won't have that problem anymore. It's a really good point, man. It's a really good point. I wish I would have known that a long time ago, because I already did. I mean, we're at 25,000 with the SKUs. So as soon as we sell that first 10,000, we're going to be good. And we're somewhat close to it, I think. You know, I could just pull all those items and sell them somewhere else, or, you know, change the SKUs would be a nightmare. But yeah, that's true. It's hindsight, you know. Hindsight, 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 hindsight's 2020. Yeah, you always think about it, but I guess that's good for anybody start with a 0 to not have the problem of the sorting of the SKUs. It's a good video title. It's the sorting of the SKUs, and explain like how to set up your SKU system. It's good. That is good. I'll tell you this too. On days that my part-time employee doesn't come to work, I don't feel as charged up to work when she's not here. It's like when she's here, I'm paying for her time. She's coming 100% ready to work, and then I'm like ready to work. But then whenever she doesn't come in, I'm looking at YouTube videos on trucks. I'm eating breakfast slowly. Like there's just things are not they're not like in gear quite a bit, you know. Like just a little tick slower, and yeah, it's okay to have time for yourself, or to, you know, like take your time with things. And when you work for yourself, you can do that whenever you want. Like you can take naps during the day, but there's still 87 items that got to get packed up into the post office, and check your post office box, and check your emails and offers and messages, which I've kind of stopped answering a lot of eBay messages because I'm just losing like patience for some of these questions. So Panda says, you getting a truck instead of the Honda? I think I'm getting a truck in addition to the Honda. So there was two veins of thought that I was going to go through. So I don't know how many truck people are out there, but the Toyota Tundra redesigned in 2022. And there's been a few problems, the 2022s, 2023s. But I've come to find out the 2007 Tundra to the 2021 Tundra had pretty much the same engine, the V8 5.7 liter. And that's like a workhorse of a truck. So I don't know if I actually need that much truck. I think that's more of like an ego thing, or just being like high up, loud, awesome truck. So I could either sell my Civic. I think it's valued at like $23,000 right now. I could trade that in for a 2021 $46,000 to $50,000 Tundra. But now I'm kind of thinking maybe I should go with like a really reliable older truck and just use that for all the projects I have. Like if I want to take my son mowing, I don't have a bed. I don't have a truck bed I can throw the mower in, right? If I want to frame something at the new house or my old house, or if I want to sell something that's big, like I can't move it without a truck bed. So I was thinking if I can find a truck under $10,000, I could just pay for it cash, and then just have that truck as a work truck. And it can have like 120,000 miles or 150,000 miles, as long as it's a well-built vehicle. So the Tacomas might be a good option. I saw one in the Dallas area for $9,500, and it looks awesome. So I don't know. I may go with something like that, but I'm not mechanically inclined. So I'm a little nervous when it comes to like buying like an older vehicle, because I just don't really know how to work on them. Oh no, what happened? Some reason the custom SKU got out of order somehow. I pressed double back to go back. Okay, here we go. I just got to scroll down. Got it. All right, back on track. So anyway, those are the dilemmas with the trucks, with what I'm doing. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not buying another Ford. Like I'm really not. My dad's got like a, $75,000 Ford, but I think I'm going to go Toyota. I like the Civic a lot, and I don't really want to move off the Civic, but I'm almost at 40,000 miles in that car. And here's the other thing. If I buy a truck to be as my main vehicle, I'll use my wife's RAV4 for the Dallas trips. So put all the miles on there, because that's the other thing. The Tundra gets like 14, 13 miles a gallon. So yeah, the older Tundras last forever. Yeah, so if you can get a 2021, that's the good engine, and that's the one where they fixed all the bugs out of that line pretty much. And that's kind of the way I was thinking, but they're expensive, dude. They're expensive. I almost bought one this morning for 50 and I was like, nah, like maybe let's just some things on big purchases. I wait like 3 months. And if I'm still thinking about it or whatever, then usually I'm pretty dialed in to make the purchase. But if I just started thinking about trucks 2 days ago, just buying one just because isn't the best thing. Because realistically, the bed of the truck will probably be used less than a dozen times a year. Realistically, because I just don't work construction anymore. I don't do a lot of that kind of stuff, man. Emily has a question. Says, have you ever bought a course or lesson about online reselling? I have a couple times and it was a waste of money. Emily, I'm really sorry to hear that. No, I haven't. YouTube is too big a place. Even Daily Refinements and Tech have their group, but they have so much free content, especially Chris. I learned everything I knew from them. And then eventually when I kept watching them, I realized I didn't need to watch them anymore. And then I kind of watched people who I wanted to watch. Like we have Julian in here. He's got a really good channel. And it's more so like, no, usually to me, buying a course is similar to somebody saying like, buy my reseller lot. Like they're going to only give you what they want to give you kind of thing. And they're just kind of trying to make money off of it. Julian says, I got an 06 Tundra, 240K miles. Yeah, exactly. Now you got the 06 one. So that's even before the 07 when they did the new generation. But I've heard the 07s aren't good because that was the first year of that generation. But I mean, Julian, I was looking at Tundras that are like that year and stuff, and they still want like 12, 14,000 and then you're buying it with 240,000 miles. So I don't have the stones or mechanical knowledge to do something like that. But those trucks could go like 300, 400,000 if you really get it maintenance and stuff. Definitely get an older truck. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, older like 2020, is it like 2015 is older, but you're still spending like 30K. Now, if I spend 30K on a truck, it may make sense just to trade in the car and then only pay a little bit like cash. But just like liquid cash is such a big deal, right? The thing is, when you get enough of that, how big a deal is that cash? Like, is it worth keeping a bunch of cash on hand? Like, ideally, you'd want to spend that to either increase your business or you could say invest it. I'm just not big on like investing, like investing. Just, I do have a Roth IRA, but I don't know. I'm not very bullish on it. It's insane what they want for the old Tundras. Yeah, but there's a reason that there's a reason. I'll put that back up there. There's a reason why people are paying so much for those trucks. But I did find, I mean, I think here's the thing too. I was looking at all like the big websites to sell cars and then the dealerships post there. But like, I think I may just go Facebook Marketplace, try to find like a single owner of a truck so you can actually have a conversation with them about it. Because there was one thing, I think it was the transmission cooler or something that they took out of the Tundras in, I think, 2019. So that's kind of a problem. You can put one on, I think, but there's just little things like that I'm starting to learn. So I'm really trying to dial in like how to get a good used Toyota truck, whether it's the Tacoma or the Tundra. And then it's like, do I even need the Tundra, right? Probably not, but we'll see, man. Did you watch the video about 1.6 million mile? I didn't watch that video. No, a lot of people in those videos reference that guy. He traded that in because they wanted to actually diagnose what happened. But from what I heard was he drove 120,000 miles a year and he got it serviced like over 100 times. And then in 2016, they gave him a brand new 2016 truck because he was such a, I don't know, like, but just imagine how much he paid and that, because that's the thing. If you have a truck, like how much are you actually replacing the parts? And is it even an old truck when you replace all the parts? But I didn't watch the video. I mean, it's crazy though, no doubt. Yeah. I don't even want to talk about it, man. It makes me like thirsty to start looking for trucks now. Here's a good one. Okay. We finally have like a decent, I mean, most of these items have been pretty marginal, but this one's a cool one. So this is a Ralph Lauren, but look at the coloring, right? So if you see something like this with the old coloring, the old stripes, this shirt sold for nearly $30, So if you see something that's different, that's colorful, in a good brand, like a medium to good brand, you have a higher chance of making a little bit of cash on it. So yeah, and that's the Blake cut, which is a pretty good cut for Ralph Lauren. What's your opinion on shipping athletic shoes in a polymailer versus a box? Polymailer all. I can't even say it. All day, every day, polymailer, unless it's like, I would say if it's like $75 or more, depending on the shoe. If it's a pair of like Hoka's or On Clouds that are selling for that much, I would still put it in a poly bag. If it's a pair of like Jordans or even like Nikes, like Air Forces or um, something like where someone, they care more about the shoe than like when you say athletic shoe, like do you consider Jordans? Like probably, yeah. But to me, I think of athletic shoes as running shoes, and those don't care. I don't really care about those. But yeah, if it's over like really 70-ish, $80 up to that echelon, I go in a box for sure. But yeah, I use the poly bags for a lot of stuff. Jiaropack, man. You guys know where it's at. Yeah, I get excited looking at vehicles, man. And my mom was like, "You're just like your grandpa, just looking at vehicles all the time." Because there was a run where he was getting vehicles like every few years, and it probably wasn't the smartest thing at the time, but just something about him, man. Something about him. But the Civic's fine. I'll tell you what I hate about the Civic though. So, like, I'm not like a big guy. I'm 5'9", so I'm like your average adult male on the planet. But that Civic is low to the ground. Like, it is loud. I did not get the highest trim level Civic. I got the Sport, not the, I don't know what the other one was, but yeah, and the other one had like sound dampening stuff, so it wasn't as loud. But yeah, my cars, and I know trucks are going to be loud, but like trucks, you expect that, but you're also higher up off the ground. There's something about being so low to the ground that makes me feel a little like uncomfortable sometimes, just because you feel very vulnerable, especially with bigger vehicles. And yeah, so that's a thing. But yeah, I figure if I can get an old truck and just have a work truck, I think my wife would be more on board with me spending 10,000 or less than spending 50. Just because we're still in like a bit of a transition period where she got a house from her grandpa and she spent a lot of money on remodeling it. And then we're going to rent out my house. So once that rental property begins generating like enough to pay for the loan and some, then we'll be like, even more comfortable. But right now it's like, let's try to make this happen. Like, I know the money's going to be there, but I don't want a car loan either. So that's the other thing. I don't really want the car loan. So I just don't want to spend like all my money, So we shall see. I got another good one coming up. There we go. So use the free box, the 14x7x5. All right. I noticed the white Jolly, I almost said Jiaropack mailers is not the same quality as the color ones. Miss Lachey, I'm glad you brought that up because I brought that up when I first noticed that. K&M Resells Mike, he used my link and bought 5,000 of the white ones. When I told him to buy the blue ones or like some of the colored ones, the white ones, I think they either get them from someone else or they make them different. So yeah, don't get the white ones. But the color ones are really good, top notch. And what she's referring to is like the plastic piece that comes off. On the white ones, it's way thinner. The mill level, I don't know what it is, but on the colored ones, it's thicker and it's easier. It has more weight to drop out of your hands. The other ones really stick to your fingers, and it's a bit of a headache. I found these Levi's. These Levi's have the orange tab, and I know a lot of people in the last video, or at least a couple people through the years, have said like, I like when you talk about why you pick something up versus why you don't, which is an extremely important detail to talk about. And it's hard because I've been doing it so long. So sometimes it's second nature and I don't really think about what I'm thinking about. But a lot of it is like, I've already bought and tried to sell that item and I know it didn't do well, or I know it did super well. So with something like this, anytime I see that orange tab, it's a pretty good indication that it's going to be valuable. Now, the denim black 550s that are shorts or jorts or whatever, or even the blue ones, some of those are not good, even though they're orange tab. I think it's the black ones. And I can't tell you why. They're just not popular. But these sold for $25.50 plus $8.99. So like $34 on these right here. And it's like, I mean, look at them. They got the orange tab. They're plaid. They look super vintage, like 70s, maybe 80s. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of like, okay, no brainer. I'm picking this up. And yeah, then you just got to make sure you price it right, you know? Because a lot of times I list things at like $16 plus shipping. But on those, I listed them at, I think, 25 plus or $29.99 plus shipping. And they're going to New York, the Big Apple, land of the free and people who can afford to live there. Panda says, at least you're not in the Rust Belt. All the older cars and trucks here are just like rust buckets now. I learned about the Rust Belt. And when they said Rust Belt, I thought they meant like Florida coast over there, but they mean the snow people that put all the sand and stuff or salt on the roads for the snow. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So, much like anything in life, the more research I do on something, the smarter I get and the more things I know what to look for. Like, I know a few things on the trucks that I'm looking at that I need to check, and rust is definitely one. And figuring out, like, where did this truck come from and where did it live? How many owners did it have? You know, and there's this thing, it's called VIN number lookup, and it tells you a lot of detailed information on like the selling price through the years and stuff. And it's a good little site, so that helps. If you had lots of money, is buying anything in bulk worth selling on eBay? Yeah, I would say no. Just because something is in bulk and it's 15 cents an item or 25 cents an item, there's a reason it's being sold in bulk. Nobody's selling super valuable goods in bulk. They just aren't. The only time that could happen is if, say something happened to me and my wife needed to sell the entire store, which I already told her to talk to Brian Roning about like what to do with my eBay store. Don't just like have a garage sale for $1 a piece. Although that would be a good idea. But yeah, that'd be the only way that buying in bulk works. But if you're buying from somebody whose business is to sell in bulk, it's not going to be a good idea. Almost always never. Like, that's all I can say. And I've tried it like a handful of times. I have not researched going in deep. I've not done the Amazon pallets. I've not done Goodwill pallets. Like, I haven't done any of that kind of stuff. I can just tell you from experience, usually it's going to be pretty bad. It's going to be a hectic. I mean, Julian was in here and he's definitely bought a bunch of stuff at one time, like storage lockers, and he's got the vehicles and the manpower to like handle that kind of stuff. But if you're just like, I don't want to go sourcing because it's too difficult to find good stuff to sell, let me buy this bulk lot of MLB t-shirts for $4 a piece. Like, trust me, you're not gonna make it happen. So please avoid that at all costs. And if you're out there selling bulk, like, just be more honest with it. Like, try to do, take less margins or something. I don't know what to really say about that. Mr. Say says, yeah, the strip's thinner, the creases tear easy, plus the mailer's thinner overall, kind of see-through. Yeah, I know. And I've gotten some of their white ones that it wasn't the case, but I have gotten them that it was the case. I know exactly what you're talking about. What expensive items are good to buy and sell? Good question. You could say like Rolexes are a good expensive item to buy and sell. You could say vehicles are a good expensive item to buy and sell. I think vehicle sales is like a big thing. I mean, a lot of people, they're like, oh, what a dumb answer. Like, sell cars, of course. But think about it. If you buy a truck and you slap some new tires on it or you fix a couple problems, you can probably sell it for more money. Or say you just negotiate well on a vehicle and then instantly sell it for higher. Now, I don't know the laws with the titles and like how you can facilitate those trades legally, but yeah, trucks, I mean, vehicles, you can make $1,000 on a sale, relatively easy, as opposed to like, how many clothing items do you need to sell to make 1,000 profit? So like, I would say big items, big expensive items are good to buy and sell. So what expensive items are good to buy and sell? Expensive items are good to buy and sell. So, all right. Panda says, laugh out loud. I know. No, full laughs. Amanda says, "What's your opinion on steaming, ironing wrinkled clothes? It's so time consuming and it really kills my momentum." I would say steaming and ironing wrinkled clothing. I would say it kills your momentum. Like, yeah, you're absolutely right. So, uh, if it's like $100 shirt, you probably need to like make it as presentable as possible. If you have a Gucci shirt, I would recommend like steaming it. If you have a Ralph Lauren that's wrinkled, I would just fold it neatly and then just let the weight of it. Or some people just lay them like stretched out and then stack them up, and it's good enough. Like they're gonna wash these items. There's very few savage people like myself that will just throw a shirt on straight from the thrift store. But a lot of these people are gonna wash that shirt and they're gonna steam it or iron it. They're not expecting it ironed from you. They just aren't. But if it's $100 shirt, yeah, they might. I mean, they might. I had one guy, he was like, he wanted it steamed and ironed to be shipped. And I was like, I think I told him you can cancel the order if you want, but I'm not steaming and ironing the shirt. And then it's like you do this whole back and forth, but in reality, it's like I could have saved all that time by just not even answering the guy. Like, sorry, man. What about selling batteries? Fun Boy says. I'm not sure because I think there's been a change in the shipping with batteries. I don't know if it's the lithium ions, but I know airplanes have had a thing about batteries. So I don't know. I have no idea to batteries. But are you talking about like buying a bunch of double A's from Dollar General or Dollar Tree and then trying to put them in a padded flat rate to get the most batteries in it? Like, I've gone down that path of ideas and I don't think it's a good idea. I just don't. Now, if I sell stuff that has batteries, I usually don't include them. So that's kind of a cheap thing. But when I sold electronics, I always took the batteries out. Like that, batteries not included. And it's not because I'm not a nice person. It's because they're expensive and I don't want to mess with them. But yeah. What do we have here? These are the Faherty. Faherty's a really good brand. I used to call it Faherty because I'm an idiot. Can't read. But it's Faherty. And I actually had the CEO of Faherty buy a Faherty flannel from me. That was a highlight of my life. And then I don't know what you guys would do if you had a high-level person buy something from you. But I asked him, I said, yeah, man, these are really hard to find. And I never find one in a men's medium. It's because I wanted him to send me a men's medium flannel. But of course, that was a pipe dream. He did not send me anything. I thought it'd be really cool, man. I mean, I'd give him a shout out. I think his name was Mike. I looked up his address. He lived in a New York skyscraper, and he lived on like the 9th floor, I think. And it was like $50,000 a month to live there. So that dude's got some cash. He could have sent a shirt from his own company, man. Mr. Sage says, I would only consider buying bulk if it was a popular household product that people replace often, like mop heads, vacuum bags. I just couldn't imagine having 100 mop heads, or I couldn't do it. You can't take pictures of wrinkled clothes. It won't sell, girl. I will say you can. The thing about the linen ones, right? Those are always super wrinkled, 100% linen. And I've sold dozens, if not hundreds of those. So yeah, I would say you're okay selling wrinkled shirts. Now it probably doesn't sell as well, no doubt. Doesn't sell as well, but put in the dryer with an ice cube if wrinkled. Interesting. I never steam or iron anything. Now I did buy like a $200. I think it's the J2000. I don't know if is it a Jiffy? I don't want to sound like an idiot. Jiffy steamer? I think so. But yeah, it's a $200 steamer, and that thing is like in like 20 seconds, it's ready to go, and that thing is powerful. That thing is awesome, man. So it was definitely worth it. Like, we use it around the house. I mean, it's a good product. But yeah, steaming is kind of boring. Now, if you buy like, I don't know, 50 items a week or less, and you're like, well, I can steam them all in like an hour, or at least get a little bit of steam on them, maybe it's worth it. Fun Boy says, aw. Taylor, is eBay selling your long-term goal career, or will it come a time when you think it's time to change to another source of income? So that's a really good question. It's a really, really good question. And I don't think eBay reselling is even a career. I would consider it a job. Now it's a job you can run yourself. So it's like what are the businesses called when you do everything? I mean, micro business, I guess, is a term, but like owner, operator. Yeah. So I have a few thoughts about this. I'm glad you brought it up. And I got to switch bags out though. We got one bag done. So put this over here. We got bag number 2. Okay. Let's see. So let's break it down. Is eBay selling your long-term career goal? The answer is no, it's not. Will it come a time when it's time to change to another source of income? I've already added incomes. Now, replacing my eBay income is definitely challenging. There's definitely some challenges in that because for the past 5 years, I have developed the knowledge and skill of how to make money doing reselling in, I mean, any form or fashion. It doesn't even have to be eBay, but like I understand the concept of buying and selling clothes. And I understand the time it takes. I have a decent idea of how to get items. And if I wanted to scale reselling higher, I definitely could. Now, I don't want to do that work because I don't think the money I scale, like, I don't think the money's there for the work that it takes. In my situation, my logistical situation is not the coast of Florida or California. It's not the same. So I have other businesses that I'm working on, like I thought about creating an advertising agency, like social media management, because I've built a profile of like, I can get people to watch based on what I'm doing. And I think a lot of it just has to do with hard work. If you're showing off hard work in any industry, I think people like to see that. If you clearly communicate what you're trying to do, I think that is something that consumers want to see. And I can pass that to somebody else and charge them money for it. So I could maybe build that. If I like quit eBay today and just did that, I think in 6 months, I think I could match or get close to what I'm making on just eBay. But I have other businesses too. I mean, obviously YouTube is making some money. And you can change YouTube up. Like it's the same concept. Work hard, show what you're doing, help people out. People will watch. I mean, if you're a good person, if you're not a crazy person, and if you're a crazy person, sometimes people will watch that even more than if you're just a good person. But video editing skills, like making shorts, like understanding traffic and just how like people consume concept and what you're providing. Like you got to provide more than what they're getting. So like you guys are spending your day watching this live and it's like, well, why am I doing that? One, maybe I'm good to listen to. I don't think I have that sing-song voice that some people are like, your voice is so angelic. I don't think I have that. I have some proof of concept with like where I'm at doing this business that maybe some of you guys strive to do. So like I'm providing some value and getting views for it, which will pay me enough to buy a couple lunches, which lunch nowadays super expensive. It's like $12 minimum wherever you go to buy lunch. I mean, even McDonald's is like, it's like $10. So I think whatever business you're doing, whatever job you're doing, I think it's always good to build some other type of income. If you're full-time copy repairman like I was selling on eBay on the side. Before I was selling on eBay on the side, I was mowing lawns. I was cutting trees. I did like handyman repair stuff for people, like anything I could do that I had a skill in because I had a construction background. So I could kind of like build things and do work that other people didn't want to do. Like one time I just dug out some like bushes and stuff, dude, like just to gain like $100 on a Saturday. Cause I was like, I needed money. So yeah, I would say just keep developing it, but no, long-term goal. Now, I could see eBay still being a thing, but I could see somebody else doing all of it for me. Like maybe the only thing I do is source. That would be like, I think if I could get eBay to the point where that's the only thing I do, I think that'd be successful long term. That was a big old rant. Okay, don't laugh. What do you think about haunted doll sales? I'm gonna not laugh and I'm not gonna answer because I think it's ridiculous. Haunted dolls is a scam. I think it depends who's selling the haunted dolls. If you have a really, let's say you have like a really attractive person and a really decrepit person, but they have like a thing where they're playing off each other and they're selling these dolls. I think people might buy it just for that. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I had people ask for foot pictures from me. You know, feet pictures I could have sold. So like if I could sell a foot picture, which I didn't, don't get it wrong, I didn't do it. I thought about it, but I didn't. I may have missed an opportunity, but it was a good laugh. Anyway, I think you can sell anything. So yeah, maybe. Now, can you, fun boy, sell haunted dolls? Probably not. But somebody can because they're doing it, right? Serious? You can laugh. Yeah, I think we got it. If you won the lottery, would you still go thrifting? No, I hate thrifting. Thrifting is the worst. It is the worst. I talked about this. I don't know if I talked about it to you guys. I was in the comments talking about it to my last video. So last video was a thrift video, an all-day thrift trip. And I was talking in the comments with somebody because it's my least favorite task. My least favorite task. Now, garage sales are a bit different. But if you're talking like thrift stores off the rack, no chance, man. No chance. No chance. Would I still create content? Probably. Sole proprietor, owner operator, yeah. I think owner operator is good. Sole proprietor is good too. I think as a sole proprietor, you can have employees though, I think, and still be considered a sole proprietor business. So that's just like a tax. I think it's just how you're labeled for taxes though too. But yeah, owner operator, that's pretty much what I was thinking. You're such an inspiration. Thank you. Motivating me. You give me hope when I'm feeling like I'm not doing enough or working hard. Thank you so much for talking, taking the time to give us knowledge. Kudos. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Sure thing, man. That's what I'm trying to do. Really am. I figure it's needed sometimes, you know? And honestly, I would probably still be looking at trucks had I not started the live. I would have not shipped yet. I would have been like, oh no, now it's time for lunch and then I'll ship. And then it's like the end of the day and I haven't barely done my work. And when you guys have kids, it's like you got to know when they're home from school or daycare, like they are the main attraction. Like they are wanting your attention, and you cannot still be, you know, downtown at this office shipping when your wife is, you know, trying to decompress from work and has, you know, like the cooking or some types of chores or whatever needing to be done. Like you need to be there to do the stuff you need to do as a dad. And I cannot be stuck here doing this crap. So that's why I'm getting this done now. But I wanted to do the live because, well, I mean, it helps motivate me just as much, I think. Really does. Now, does it slow me down? Yes. It slows me down a lot. But that's okay. That's okay. Because, well, I like going live. And the only thing is I don't like setting up the live. Like I wish I had an extra computer, an extra phone, an extra stand. Like I can't have this set up when Randy's working. I have to like move all this stuff out of the way. So like I need to figure out a more like plug and play live stream setup. Panda says, confirm he sold the feet pics. Okay, Panda, I know your feet are much bigger and black with white spots, but how much would you charge? That's the real question. And I did ask my wife first. I told her what the deal was, and I said, hey, this guy asked for feet pictures. Ha ha ha. And she's just like, no. And I was, yeah, who would sell those? Like, gross. Like, you know. But hey, how much would you charge realistically? Because think about the work it takes. You have your phone, you slip your shoe off. They probably wanted no socks. And then you don't know, like, do you sell just the top $100? Do you say if you want the bottom, that's where you're gonna have to pay two? And then in what, how many seconds did you make $200, $300? I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna start an OF page, but and then it's like, do you shave your feet, your toes? Like, did he want them shaved? See, Panda says 20 per angle. I think that's way low. I think it's way low. Do you still have an employee to help you? You were at one time had hired someone. Randy's been with me for 1 year. And don't tell her, but her 1 year anniversary was like the first week of April, and I forgot to get her something. So Tuesday, which is tomorrow, I was going to get her bonus, which I give her a yearly bonus, a birthday bonus, and 2 holiday bonuses, Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I didn't get her anything. So I was going to get her a cheesecake, a turtle cheesecake, but I'm sourcing tomorrow. So like, I don't want to leave the cheesecake here for 2 hours or 2.5 hours and then her see this warm cheesecake. So she works again on Thursday, and Thursday I'm going to bring her like gifts. So yeah, no, Randy's still with me. She works about 10 hours a week. Caleb pumping up the streams, the stream likes. Thank you, dude. Yeah, Caleb's been just like rocking these lives too. He's doing really well. He's kind of like filling the gap of the clothing guys in or around the same, like him, the Resell brothers, like Bo Johnson, Brian Roning, Dixon Pickens. All these people are around the same size, you know, of like doing the deed, right? And we're trying to compete with all those everything sellers, you know? So yeah, dude, thanks for that. GM Drop says, I wonder how many people leverage fetish for reselling business besides OnlyFans. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the thing with the feet thing, it's like, how many people are going to recognize my feet somewhere, right? But it's like, what is he going to do with that photo, you know? I don't know. I'm not going to do it. And that was the only time I've ever been offered. And he was a big gay man too. Like he was a big, like strong gay man with no shirt in his profile picture. But I'm just saying, it's not like he wasn't like a grotesque individual, if that, yeah, take for what's worth. He was a good looking gay man. So I was flattered. And I was in a thrift store. I remember I was in a thrift store. I laughed out loud. I LOL'd in person, IRL. And yeah, it's one of those moments where you feel like, you know, you think you made it. You like, you know, monetization, you made it, right? Like your first check from YouTube, you made it. Somebody seeing you in public said, hey, I like the channel. I appreciate the videos. You really made it. Somebody asking to pay for pictures of your feet, you're there. Like you're there. So that is that. The other thing about it is, say I would have done the deal, right? And I like log the whole thing, right? Like I vlog or I talk about it and it's saved forever. Then when I buy my wife like an anniversary gift, I'll be like, babe, I wanted to get you this gift with the money I earned from selling pictures of my disgusting feet. How more romantic can you really get? So here's a good one. So this right here, definitely like a cool style. So this is a Wrangler Pearl Snap. This one sold for $30. It's vintage. It looks like it looks a little bit like Global Guts, the Aggro Crag, Nick Gas. That's what we're kind of talking about with this kind of style, you know. Always the guy with a foot fetish. I know. 20 was low. Still, are you finding time to work out and work on your fitness? No, I actually have been sacrificing that. And a lot of it is because I had like a crick in my neck. I hate saying that because you sound like an old guy. But like I had some neck issues for about 3 weeks. Well, yesterday was the first day that I did biceps and triceps, and it was an okay workout, but I'm ready to hit it again. And I think the only way that I can make that work is right now when I get done shipping, I'm going to go to the post office, grab some food, eat a light lunch, not a heavy lunch, and then work out afterwards or work out first thing in the morning. That's the only times I'm going to be able to do it. I thought I could do it at night, but I really like knocking out listings at night, watching YouTube, like decompressing that way. So I used to work out at night, but I think I'm kind of past that. Now, when we get our new house, the garage where my new gym's going to be set up is way far away from where my son's room is. Because right now the garage is literally like the next room over is my son's and then my office. It's a bit of a smaller house. So if I work out and I clang the bar around, like he's going to wake up. So we cannot have a 18-month-old waking up. No chance. And if you guys don't know who I'm talking about, my son was featured in my recent video. I had some B-roll of him at the park. It was adorable. One little kid tried to jump on this bridge thing and knock him down, which was crazy. The kid's dad yelled at him because, I mean, my son's small. He's a small young man. And I want to be able to work out at night because working out at night is fine, but then you have to kind of shower, so that adds time. But the new house that I'm going to, that my wife and I and son are going to live at, it's more spread out. So I may start working out at night, but yeah. 120 a foot. Oh, that's interesting. Like right or left foot. It's like, what's your good foot? Your right or left? I want to work for you. No employer gives you a birthday bonus. Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you guys ever heard of a Resell Rabbit on YouTube, he does like the big warehouse sales. He was the one that I heard that. He does a 3-day weekend around your birthday. So it's like your birthday, the day before and after, and those are 3 paid days. Thanksgiving, Christmas is the same. So I can't really afford 3 paid days, but well, I guess, well, no, I get close to that with the bonus, right? It's usually like $100 bonus. But if I could give her 3 full days of pay, that would be cool. I wish I could, but I don't know if I can really do that right now. I mean, I guess I could, but maybe like as the years go on, her bonus will go up each time. Maybe I could do that. But anyway, yeah. I don't really need any more workers, so so no, you cannot work. It'd be application denied. Sorry. Okay. We got a full box and then a partial. Panda said Caleb is everywhere. Yes, that's how you grow on YouTube. You be everywhere so people know your name. I work all day and these are my coworkers. So yeah, I'm perfect, dude. Well put, Caleb. That is well put. And that's part of the reason too why these lives are kind of a big deal, man. It's like reselling is very, very isolating. I mean, would you call the cashiers at your thrift stores your friends? Would you call people on YouTube better friends? Like maybe. Would you call other resellers in your thrift store friends, or would you call them enemies? I don't know. I'd call them enemies. They're your competition, man. Like, it's cool to be friends, in the parking lot of a thrift store. But I remember, have you guys seen Thrift of Life's videos? He doesn't really post because he lives in Mexico now, which is wild. But he posted this video. It was one of the first ones I watched of his. And he talked about thrifting in is either Los Angeles. And he said it's like war with the crackheads at the thrift stores. And I was like, this dude's insane, but you could see it in his eyes. And then he said, like, one time he's like, I was this close to grabbing like $400 worth of stuff off the new racks and somebody else grabbed it before me. And you could see the pain in his eyes. And I was like, dude, this guy is like, he's feeling it. Like and I can imagine you're struggling just to get it by with rent in those types of expensive areas. And then you're dealing with crackheads at the thrift stores, people beating you to the new racks. Like, yeah. I think one of the more annoying things I've seen with other people thrifting is the ones that grab like a ton of stuff. I mean, a ton, and then they're looking through it after the fact. So it's like they may put something back that you could sell, but then they have everything. And I've seen this in my local town a couple times, and it's crazy. It's crazy. It really drives Really drives me insane. But, you know, it's like, each their own, I guess. I mean, they're trying to feed their family too, right? But, yeah. Yeah, it's cool, man. Having a community of people online, I think, is a great thing. I think it's a really good thing. A lot of you guys boost me up all the time. Some of you guys drive me insane. I've gone back and forth with some people on some topics that drive me insane. Some person created an only feet fans. Okay, have to go check them out. Drop their link in the comments. No, please don't. I don't really care for that. Did you get the bags yet? Talking about poly bags, best sales from the weekend. Let's change the topic from feet. Yeah, it's the last item I'm going to pack. I'm going to talk about it. Poly bags coming in. You know you're making coin when you're able to buy a house with your own home gym. Don't get it twisted. The house was inherited. My wife got it from her grandpa, so we didn't buy another house. But the home gym, it's the garage that I'm turning into like a gym. Like half will be a gym, the other half will be for like watching football and drinking. So like you gain some weight on the drinking half and snacks, and then you lose it with the workout half. That's gonna be, and then we have a carport we're putting in so that we don't have to worry about the vehicles getting hail damaged. Because I don't like parking in a garage. I think it's a waste of space. I think having a carport is fine. Some people think it's tacky. I think those people are tacky. So, but no, yeah. No, don't get it twisted. We didn't just drop money on another house now. That's not be cool. But no, not happening. But I will be a landlord. So I will be the lord of my own land. And that'll be an interesting endeavor. Look for stains after. This happens in the bins. They grab the entire new cart, go to a corner, and throw their rejections. Yeah, I can imagine. How do you feel about the NFL draft, Bears fan? Yeah, we're getting Caleb. The real question will be what we do with the 9 pick. It's already it's set in stone that we're getting Caleb, pretty much. It's just a formality that we're going through now. But the number 9 pick is extremely intriguing. I think, this is my opinion, is you have to take a blue chip player at number 9. Because those types of guys are your stars, your future stars. Like they're going to be on the team for 10 years, hopefully, if you treat them right with a contract extension. And you don't, like, when will the Bears pick number 9 again? Or even the top 10? Like, it might be a very long time. It might be the rest of Caleb Williams' career. We may be in that mid-range 15 to 20 tier for a long time. And that would mean we'd be winning games, which is fine by me. So I think you need to capitalize on the number 9 pick this draft. And there's a lot of options. There's a lot of good wide receivers. So, yeah. Do you have a death pile? Yeah, so these shoes, that would be a death pile. We don't do shoes every week, but I do buy 1 to maybe 3 pairs a week. So that would be a death pile. And then Randy has probably like 50 items over here that she's going to do tomorrow. And then I'm going to source tomorrow to get another, like, whatever, ideally 80 plus items, because I'm not going all day like I used to. I used to thrift into the night. I used to thrift from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. and then sometimes to 9 p.m. There's one store that closes at 9. I don't do that anymore because I was coming home at 11:30. The very next day was rough. Now, if it's a half off day, I'll go that full route because I want to capitalize on the prices being so low. And those happen, I think, twice a month. So there's that. But then I've been sourcing until like 3 o'clock. So 9 a.m. to 3. And yeah, so like 80 items is pretty good. But I'm not pushing it as hard as I used to because I'm making money in other ways. And that means I don't necessarily need to hit my marks like I used to because the money's coming in all kinds of ways. Yeah, Caleb, we're hoping to get some success. Money pile, yeah, for sure. I got to keep going here. I feel like I'm losing steam. I feel like I'm getting a little tired just because I've been standing in the same position for a while. Here's two Johari West shirts. See how like the geometric looks excellent? So if you find any shirt that looks like this, that's mid-tier or above, they're going to sell for good money. This one sold combined shipping. Let's see. Oh, it's right over £1 too. Let's see. All right. So it's 1 pound, 0.03 ounces. So I'm actually going to take these out of the bag so that it'll definitely be under 1 pound, hopefully. And these sold for, let's see, $44.62 for 2 shirts. That's pretty good. Put them in here and see if it'll fit. Still might be over £1, which would be a huge waste of time. Yeah, it's the same weight. God, so dumb. That's okay. That is okay. Oh, great. Okay, so these are actually far away, so I got to use this one. It's going to be $7.52 if I leave it in the poly mailer, but if I put it in a flat rate envelope, it's only $7.99. So this saved me 53 cents. And then, of course, the poly mailer is harder to use without the poly bag because they kind of slide in. So we'll waste a little bit of time because I thought I could save some money. It's still saving time, though. One of the arguments I had recently with somebody in the comment section was they said, you should know the weight of all the items. You shouldn't waste time weighing the items. There's no way I would have been able to guess that this one is over £1 or under £1 or whatever. There's just no chance. And had I done it under, say I would have put it at £1 or under, and it weighs over, if they happen to catch that at the post office, they're going to send me the bill or whatever. Like, I'm not trying to skate them on anything because it's really not a headache I want to have. And yeah, I probably wouldn't notice the money. It wouldn't be like that significant at all. But for me, it's more of a moral dilemma on that. Like, when you build a foundation, your business on something shaky, like not weighing items, to me, that's incorrect. So, excuse me. Panda says ground cubic. Yeah, it was $8.52 per ground. So $8.52. And that usually happens when it goes to like the Northeast, you know, like New York or like Oregon, Washington. So here's this one. This one's a good one. Big Star. Big Star jeans, man. This one sold for $30 plus shipping. $30 plus shipping. This one will go ground advantage. Yeah, I don't really find these Big Stars. I don't know if they stopped making them and that's why they're like more expensive. But yeah, they're pretty good. Looks kind of like the rock and roll denim though, but they're not. They're different. Dang it. All right. Okay. Okay. And we got this one. This is a PFG, I think. All right. So tell me, what are there like a lot of you guys selling clothes, or is like everything sellers, whether you are or not? What level priority do you put going to garage sale? Because I have not made it a priority in probably 2 years, maybe a year, 2 years for sure. Yeah. And I think it's just laziness. It's also more competitive. So I mean, seeing the same people go to them is kind of annoying. But I get it. That's their business model, right? They're resellers, right? And I always buy stuff for myself though. Like I always think like I get distracted, I guess. Because if I just go looking for clothes, I'm probably not going to find many. But when I do, like, I'll buy most of them. If they're, you can kind of tell if the people bought good quality clothes or like good brands. But whenever I go and I see like all this other stuff, I want to buy it and then I just don't do anything with it. So do you guys make it like, is it like an every week thing? Because I feel like for most people it is. And for me, it absolutely was. Like starting out, I mean, selling clothes is great, but breaking away from being an everything seller means giving up like $100 profit items. I don't really come across that much at all as a clothing reseller. But as an everything seller, that's like you like need those, and then you can like settle. And I remember even sometimes I'd be like, oh, if this product makes me $20, I guess that's okay. And now I'm thinking like, dude, yeah, like $20 profit items. The problem is all the extra, all the extra if you're not good at it. Sea Monkey Revival says, yard sales are my new favorite. I bought a cowboy shirt for $1 this Saturday and sold it for $125. Was it a brush popper? That's crazy. That's a really good sale. Man. I suppose that's like where you would find a bunch of your vintage t-shirts at garage sales. Really make those people dig deep in their closets and buy their stuff. Mr. Shea says she loves yard sales. You don't go to much anymore because you'd rather sleep in. Sleep's very important. I get that. You said Cowboy Joe? I don't know if I've heard of Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe shirts. Here we go to eBay. Cowboy Joe. Man. I'm going to look him up real quick because I've never heard of it, man. Cowboy Joe. Cowboy Joe shirts. Oh, my goodness. You're right. Wow. Huh. Holy tamale. Cowboy Joe. Wow, okay. Dang, they don't look overly impressive. Like they do look good, but wow, that's incredible, dude. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is one I'm going to look out for. That is a true bolo. Cowboy Joe's. Vintage 1960s. Yeah, the tag definitely looked old. The little guy with the mustachio and his hat. Yeah, dude, that was cool. Dude, Situation. Not like Jersey Shore, right? But I wish, man. If he was in here, like, I'd be fist bumping for this Situation. But no, man, I've seen you before. Situation says, "Sup, Taylor, this might be a very stupid question, but do you measure your package or do you just weigh it?" That is a stupid question. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. So I don't weigh them because, I don't measure them. Sorry. I don't measure them because they're typically the same measurement. Like when you go through the dimensions, if you look at it here, this one is, let me fold it first. Let's weigh it first. Let's just go through the whole thing. 7 ounces. So I weigh them first, and then I tuck in that little part and I close it. And then there's your package. So typically the packages are about like this. And this is 10 by, let's say 8 by like 2 inches. So I just default it to 13 by 10 by 6 because most of them are like in that range. And that's just what I leave it at. If I change the dimensions, I don't think the price changes on those unless you go too long. And that's how I do it. Is it right? I don't know. Have I been doing it for tens of thousands of sales? Yes, I definitely have. Which that's a good question. I don't even know how many items I've sold in the past. I guess I sell a little over 9,000 a year, so it's been a lot, and that's how I've done them all. So that is the way. Purple with playing cards. Yeah, anything poker related on the shirts. It was her late husband's. I almost cried. You should have gave her some of the money, man. No need to cry. Just share the wealth. Yeah, it is sad though, right? Like that's why estate sales are kind of awkward. If the family's there, I don't know if you guys have been to an estate sale where the family's actually there, but dude, that is you want to talk about like sad. That is sad. That is sad. Anyway, here's a Mizzen main performance. This sold for $30. Mizzen and main performance. I always love seeing Mizzen and main. I tried wearing one of their shirts. It was okay. It was okay. Flip It Good says, "Hey Sean, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you." That's awesome. I'm just worried USPS not shipping it. Well, if you go over, you shouldn't have to worry. You go under and you underweight things, you could ask ADH Dave about underweighing items at the post office. He did it. He has this a few months back, he did a whole whatnot and didn't weigh a single thing. And he created a bunch of problems with his post office. And like they like didn't want to pick up his items from his house anymore and stuff. It was a whole thing, man. So yeah, you kind of got to do it correct. But yeah, over's always better. That's why I always do a few inches over. So Sea Monkey Revival says she wanted 25 cents, but I gave her $1. LOL. What a savage. What a monster. What a monster, dude. I can't believe it. She says 25 cents, and then you look at her and you say, "Don't worry, ma'am. I'm going to double it for you. I'll give you 50 cents. That's insane. What a monster reseller, dude. That's something you should have made a short about that. It would have gone viral for how evil you were, insensitive person. Does anybody pay up at garage sales? And if you do pay up, is that what it is? Like, say something's like $4 and you should be paying like 20 for it, like a nice pair of jeans. And you're like, "Oh, I'll give you $5. Don't worry. I'm a nice guy. Like, I'll give you the $5. Just because you don't want to waste time with them messing with change." Here's a Grayson floral shirt. This one's got like swans on it. I probably should have got more money for this. I think I posted it for 50, but I accepted $30 plus shipping. Just because I just don't like waiting. I mean, I'll take that money any day, really. Doesn't really bother me. It's a good profit. Somebody's going to get I also think about the buyer every now and then. I'm like, dude, if I really wanted the shirt and I didn't have the money to spend, they're going to be happy, right? Like it's going to make their day accepting the offer. So I do think about that sometimes. It does come to mind, do good onto others and so on and so forth. But yeah, I just realized you guys asked me about the fitness thing. So do I look a little flabby? Is that what it is? I'm just showing from here up, but dang, man. Dang. Bo Johnson did not pick a flattering photo for the live that we did. He did a thumbnail with me, and I was like, dude, come on, man. That was around the holidays, dude. Panda says, I bought a vintage Logo Athletics Colts jacket. She said $3.50, and I gave her $5, and she kept the change. Did you say keep the change? Or you're like, keep the change. Colts are doing terrible. Keep the change. It's all good. Yeah, the vintage sports jackets, man. I even looked to buy one of the Bears vintage ones. And unfortunately, I spent $87 on a medium one, and it's way too small. Not way too small, but it's too small. And then I was going to try to find a large, but I found one at the thrift store, and it was the new age one, the new starter ones. And I think it was new with tags too. But I paid $40 for it at the thrift, which was insane. Why'd they have to put $40 on it? But I mean, I love the Bears, so I went ahead and bought it. But I still want to find a vintage one that's cool. So if you guys come across any Chicago Bears vintage jackets, size large, hit your boy up. Instagram. We'll make a deal. Yeah, you say keep the change. That's like a a pro move, like a Rico Suave type. Where do you like keep the change, like a little finger point? Keep the change. That's wild, dude. That is wild. It really is. And then I can see the husband running out after you're walking away. He's like, "Wait, that's my jacket." She's like, you don't wear it anymore." And he's like, "I wear it every football season." Here's a pair of Diesel Safado jeans. These are Safado jeans. Anyway, these sold for 46 plus shipping, so pretty good on that. And let's get it going here. Man, I forgot how much I talk during live streams, and it's making like my throat's getting dry. Let's see. Amanda says, I started going every Saturday with my 5 kids because it's easier waking them up early and having them just sit in the car with munchkins than dragging them into all the thrift stores. Huh. 5 kids, you say? That is insane. I feel like if you like let them loose on the garage sale while you're shopping, they would cause like a bunch of distractions for the other shoppers. It'd be like having like a little minion army, like going through and infesting like the other shoppers and picking toys up and stuff, that you could kind of swoop in and find all the good stuff. So you might be able to weaponize your children, is kind of what I'm getting at. But 5 kids, congrats on you. You know, people aren't having kids enough these days. So really good that you added to the human population that much. And yeah, I hope you are making enough money to support them, because that's tough, dude. I have 1 kid and we're going to have another. But 5? Brian, what's up, man? My one wrench. I have a couple wrenches, him and my wife. Just finished In and Out, back to thrifting. In and Out, dude. You had an early lunch. Dude, I'm starving. I can't believe you said that. That's 1 o'clock. Yeah, I gotta finish, dude. I'm way behind. We're at the 2-hour mark. I've got this box left. And then I've got this box over here. It's not a full box, but pretty full. Let's see. Oh, man, I don't know, dude. Time to speed up, yeah. Definitely my new favorite here in AZ. There are yard sales every block. Dang. Brian's in Arizona too. Brian, Amanda, she's in Arizona. Watch out for her kids. They're going to bombard the yard sales. Yeah, I mean the weather, right? Weather plays a huge factor in garage sales. Income does as well too. You know, income. All right, well. All right, man. Let's see. Time to speak. I know. Remember, my lunch is my breakfast. Right. Brian's one of those fast to lunch, but he eats an early lunch. It makes sense. Miss Lachey, you make them stay in the car, Sean, or they'll want you to buy them something. Oh, my son will just. The thing is, when I let my son out of the car, he doesn't want to go back in. He just wants to play and play. When I let him out of the house, he'll play for like an hour in the yard. And as soon as I'm like, all right, let's go inside, he just does not want to go inside. He just wants to be out there. Autumn says she's in Georgia. All right. That's great. Georgia's a good place too, right? I mean, Georgia peaches, good weather. That's good. Yeah, there's not like the income level where I live is not as high as like some places. So garage sale, I don't know. They're just not as good. They are not as good. But you can find some good stuff, no doubt. There's also a lot of the garage sale like resellers. Like every week they have a garage sale. And you know that's against the rules. Like the city ordinance. You're only supposed to have 4 garage sales a year. So I don't know if that's like just my city or if it's normal. The idea is you're not, if you're doing something to like make a money with the purpose of making the money, that's like considered a business. If it's like a hobby or like you're doing 4 garage sales a year or whatever, that's what's allowed. Because they want you to pay, like, I think it's to prevent like a shanty village. I think it's to prevent a shanty style village. Because think about it. What if every weekend in front of your house you could just pop up shop and you're just running a shop out of your house? That's the whole thing behind it. So, and I'll say this, Panda. You said LOL only 4. Yeah, if you haven't heard of it, then doesn't necessarily mean it's not a thing. You just may not have heard of it. So, but yeah, it's a thing. It all has to do with people getting their money and not creating that type of an environment, I guess, for the neighborhood. Hello, Atlanta, Georgia here. That's a good question. Our faded glory plays. Go ahead and let me know, where's everybody from? We have Autumn from Georgia. We have Amanda from Arizona. We have Brian from Arizona. We have Panda from China. We have south of Atlanta. Sea Monkey Revival, did you mean south of Atlantis? South of Atlantis? Because of the sea monkeys? Did you guys get that one? Sea monkeys? Houston in the house. Do you listen to did you ever listen to Zero back in the day? Zero? Indiana? Yeah. Did you know that all the pandas in the US are owned by China? We don't own any pandas. I don't know how true that is, but I heard it and I was like, interesting. No US owned pandas. Like they own all of them. One of our main attractions, pandas. It's wild. We've got Panda lying about where they're from, saying Indiana. We have Flip It Good from Kansas City Chiefs. And Sea Monkey did understand the joke. Yes, it's like a peace offering thing. They lend them out. Yeah, I know. Like, I would like to rent 1 panda for my zoo, please. That'll be $10,000 a month. Now, I can't imagine zoos make that much money. I just can't see it being that big of a... My wife loves zoos. She's big into animals. So we do go to quite a bit of zoos and like the garden type places, the botanical gardens. So that is always a lot of walking for sure. All right, we're on our last box, folks. I was going to cut it off. I was this close to cutting it off. And I looked inside myself and I said, it's time to push through because I need to get this done. I need to eat lunch too. I need to do some weights. Like, I need to go to my post office. I'm sure I have tons of returns that I got to deal with. And that's kind of part of selling clothes too, is the return. And then I also have my other stuff, my other content type stuff I need to work on. So we got some stuff to do. I've got to make a reel one of these days for my friend. She sells houses, so I need to make a reel for her. And she could call at any moment. So if I'm not caught up on my other stuff, like, I won't be able to help. And then I also got to mentally prepare for tomorrow. I got to source tomorrow. So, you know, and that's on top of possibly going to the park with my son when he gets out of daycare because it's a beautiful day outside. I think it's going to be a high of like 74. So that's going to be awesome. And yeah, he loves the park. He's getting stronger by the day, you know? So I'm there for it. And there's some baseball playing at the far end of the park. And I was like, dude, we need to go watch some baseball, but I know he wouldn't be able to sit through it. I know he wouldn't be able to. Faded Glory says recently just got back from a trip to Florida, and their Goodwill prices are crazy. Yeah, Goodwill everywhere is pretty high. Texas Deep South 956. There you go. Ground Zero, if so, yep. No, Zero's the rap artist. Let me see. What was one of the songs? I listened to him in high school. Zero, Houston rapper. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Z-Ro. So Z-Ro. R-O. Yeah, I can't remember. He said something like riding shotgun with my shotgun, something. It was very good. It was a very good line. I need to listen to that again. I don't remember things well. So that's a thing I deal with. But yeah, he's good, man. Christy Smith, you made it. Just glad you didn't cut it off. I'm glad you showed up 2 hours late. Like, glad I didn't hold my breath for Christy, but I'm glad you're here now. Jeez. 2 hours in and you're like, oh yeah, I'm here. Like you're just checking the box there, you know. Like, I'm here, I made it. It's all good. It's wild to think the people that stream like 24 hours. Have you ever watched like Twitch or whatever? Those Twitch streamers? They stream like all day. And it's crazy. Like, how much money do they actually make doing that? Like, I don't know. I'm not sure how this would do if I stream for like 8 hours or so. Like, it might be fun to do, but, well, it wouldn't be fun to actually do because I know I would have to go to the bathroom in an 8-hour period. That's like a given. And I would definitely have to eat at least once, if not twice. Jonathan, what's up, man? Just showed up, dude. So shameful. 49 people. I wonder how many people are liking it so far. Not sure. I don't have the other video pulled up, and I don't want to pull it up because I don't want to hear the sound of myself and then have to like mute it and then possibly misclick and end it by accident. That would be shameful. So we're not doing that. But if you are here and you'd like to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if it's something you're interested in, I greatly appreciate it. I really don't appreciate it, but I expect it at this point. I expect it. Faded Glory, is anyone picking up Roan or Rag and Bone jeans still? I feel like I'm always late to the trends. Yeah, absolutely. Rohan with the Rohan. I don't even know if I've seen that before, but Rag and Bone for men's? Yeah, dude, for sure. Then no, I'm old school of all genres, especially rap. Yeah, Zero is yeah, he's good. 26 likes. Thanks for the update, Jonathan. I guess that's sufficient. Stop it. I'll watch the replay and like. Okay, that that helps. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate you are forgiven. You are forgiven, Kristen. I just know that, you are always there for me on the videos. So whenever you're not, I feel betrayed a little bit. So yeah, we're good. We are good. It could be a time thing. I don't know if you're in another time zone, but that's a big thing. So Brian, as we talked about in Arizona, he is in the wrong time zone. He's in the time zone. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Okay. I thought I grabbed the wrong one. This is a pair of BKE Alec jeans. These jeans sold for $34.99 plus shipping. Full price sale. So somebody really wants that jean. And you know what? I'm glad that they got it. I'm glad that they got it. Just got to pack them on up. Looks like we've got about 8 items left. So if you guys have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have anything you just feel like saying to 45 people, go ahead and say it now. If you... I was gonna say like if you're dealing with something and try to go serious with it, but not that that's something to joke about. But it's if you are wanting a laugh, there's this guy. Man, I can't remember what he's called. He's on my Instagram. Let's see. He's hilarious. He's like one of the comedian type guys. Let's see if I can find his Instagram. Yeah. I can't find. I don't know how to work Instagram. All right, whatever. All right, just ignore everything I just said in the last few minutes. There's this guy though that makes really funny content on Instagram and like shorts and stuff. And he goes into like Walmarts or Targets, and then he's like, hey, can you record me? I'm trying to like make a video for my girlfriend. Or he'll say like, I'm trying to make like a YouTube review video. And then he goes into making this review video, and he starts like dancing and like acting all crazy. Like he acts all like nervous and shy. Then he acts all crazy and confident. And it's such a switch up is what the kids would call it. But he's one of the funniest dudes I've seen in a while. And I couldn't stop laughing. It was hilarious though. He does like this Scooby-Doo laugh, you know? It's so stupid, man. But yeah, I love how fast you can get information and stuff, and then how like it's like people can like narrow in on certain things in the world or whatever with their life, all their extra time, or they spend their focus on it, and then they become really good at it, and then you can see their best work instantly, and for an hour you can just watch awesome stuff after awesome stuff. Like it's one of the truly great things with the internet for sure. As many bad things as there are, there's a lot of good things. Hit the like button. Thank you. Killashaw's 33. I did 500 in sales this weekend, another summer. That's excellent. $500, man. Awesome. Flippy Good has a question on the VRST brand. Do you pick it up often? I can probably buy shorts new for $5 or less. How often do you sell that brand? I sell them pretty much all the time. It's a good seller for me. Now, I think some of their, I don't know if it's their tops sell slower or something, but their shorts seem to be fine. And I was looking at the sales on their shorts, and there's one in particular that sells pretty well, more so than the others. And I can't really remember which one it was, but yeah, no, it's a good one, I think. And good meaning like it sells, right? If you can buy it cheap enough, it definitely sells. It doesn't not sell, which is most of the thrift store not sells. So yeah, we are going, man. I'm so close I can taste it, dude. So close I can taste it. This is a pair of cool cargo pants. Now, this pair of cool cargo pants, I took 25 plus shipping, so like $34. I think I should have waited a little bit longer on it, but sometimes I just get in me where I'm like, you know what? Let's make the sale. Let's move on and take the money and just keep going. I mean, that ADH Dave makes a really good point about like the speed of sale with his whatnot stuff, and like how many times you can churn that profit over and over again. And it's true. You absolutely can. Or you can wait for a while to get more, but my last item coming up was the most expensive sale that I had this weekend. And I took a quick sale on it, you know, and I'm okay with it. I feel 100% fine. But at first, I let it go the whole 24 hours almost, because I was like, what if someone comes in with another offer? And then I was thinking, I don't come across this item that much. Maybe I should wait. But then I was like, what if I don't get another offer that strong? You know, what if that's it? What if that was the time to make the play and you just pass it up because you get greedy? And you're like, oh, I want the comp show this and blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't really matter what the comp show. It's like, what's someone willing to pay for it? You know, like right now, like, yeah, you can see a tendency of what the comps are. But like if someone's got cash in hand, or in this case, I don't know, cash on card. Is that better? This is a pair of Judy blue jeans. This sold for 45 plus shipping. It's like 50 plus on the jeans here. It's the boyfriend fit. That's pretty awesome. I love Judy blue. If I was to get back into women's selling, like I think I would go back to jeans. But yeah, the Judy blues, man, they take my heart away. Take my heart away. Yeah, they are tremendous sellers. Kill Shaw says, NBA fan? Not much. I'm more of a football fan. I'm a diehard Chicago Bears fan. My dad, he'll play a baseball and watch the Cubs for sure, but no, I love football. Football is your common gladiator sport, you know? Like, of course, there's UFC and that kind of thing, but when it comes down to it, football is king. It really is. And you can say soccer or football, you know, is the most popular, but if those guys knew how to play or like grew up playing, it would become the most popular one for them too. It just hasn't because it's an expensive sport, you know. There's a lot of rules. There's a lot of waiting. There's a lot of technical aspects of it. NBA, the thing I don't like about NBA is like one player can pretty much break open a game, or like two players can like win a championship. And with football, you really need like almost all the players. Like, you could argue you don't need like the best players at every position. Like, if you have the best quarterback, you know, you don't need the best receivers, but you still need a pretty good offensive line, you know. You can't just like not have a good line with the best quarterback. He's going to get destroyed. And then it's like he's injured and then he's done for a long time. You know, it's very rare in basketball for the guy to get injured and just be out for the year. Wise man said some of money all the time, or all of the money some of the time. Very good point. Very good point. The next offer could be 6 months later or never, but that's exactly the point. Yeah, that's exactly the point. So we're on our last shirt here, and I did get the one where I grabbed the wrong item, so I'll pack that up when I'm off stream. But then we'll get to the best sale of the weekend. The best sale of the weekend. Dude, I'm feeling like sushi for lunch, or possibly fried burritos. Two very different things there. I've started accepting offers a lot more. I'd rather roll that money multiple times than have it sit for a long time for the possible payday sale. Exactly. All right. If you guys watched my Florida trip, you will have seen the North Face. This is the steep jacket. Now, I paid $35 at a Plato's Closet. I did not see that it was missing this button here. See this snap right here? You see here? There's a gap. That's because it's missing one. So this is like a $250 to $300 jacket, but because it's missing that, it's pretty significant. Because, I mean, that's a lot of money to spend. And I got a good example of this. Somebody had the Bowflex on Facebook Marketplace recently. It's the one that goes from 10 to 90 pounds, the dumbbells. He got it from a storage locker. He had it posted for $400. That one sells for like, and he had the stand. It sells for like $700-800 brand new, but you can't even buy it brand new. Like, Bowflex doesn't have it available, and Walmart has it for like $1,500. So I drove 20 minutes to go look at it, and it was beat to crap. Like, beat to crap. And I talked him down to $360, and I was gonna buy it and then sell the set that I have. And I couldn't do it because I didn't want to spend $360 on something damaged. So then I got this offer for $120 when I had it listed for $300, and I'm like, that's super low. I should counter with $200, but it's damaged. Like, that is a pretty good flaw on the front of it. And I decided to take the offer. So we're going to take the offer here. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it, man. Like, $120. I spent $35. I got content for the Florida trip. I was able to prove that I could find something in other places, which, I mean, there's money in thrift stores all over the country, but it was just a nice little thing, you know. I got a nice jacket. Somebody's going to be happy. And again, they're getting a pretty good deal on a vintage jacket. So yeah, we're all good, man. That's going to be a decent profit. And we're happy about it. So that is going to be that. I'm going to get it, I'm going to get the label done first. Oh, come on. Okay. There we go. And I got one sale during the live. So one sale in 2 hours. Great. Panda Express. Yeah, maybe. NFL is king for sure. I'm a Cardinals fan. I come across that country that plays rugby. Oh, I'm from the country that plays rugby. What's your opinion of rugby? Have you seen it? Sort of off topic. I've seen clips of it and stuff, the all black team, and it seems cool. I mean, it seems cool. I just don't I don't know the rules. Like I don't really know how it works. And I don't know. It's not like cuz here's the thing with like cuz somebody said rugby is more tough than football cuz they don't wear pads. But like the speed of the collisions in the NFL are like car wrecks. I don't know if it's quite like that. And I'm not like a proponent of car wrecks, human to human contact, but there's just something inherent about growing up with a sport and as opposed to adopting something. And I don't know. So that's kind of all I got to say about that. But anyway, we're done. I got the shipping done. The live has gone on for over 2 hours. I appreciate every single one of you guys that decided to hang out. I wasn't ready for the day. I was looking at trucks to buy. I was looking to spend money instead of make money and not do my work. But thanks to you guys, I was able to get that done. So I appreciate you guys watching. Next video, I'm going to try to do the reseller news video, which I'm not going to call it reseller news or whatever, because somebody else already kind of had that. So I'm going to call it possibly IRS reselling interesting reseller news or no. Interesting reselling stories, the IRS. It's like the IRS you don't want to like it's the good IRS, you know, but it's a working title. But that's gonna be my next video, most likely. And then yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. So I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you next time. Take it easy. Bye. Later. Have a good one.